The story begins inside Battle of Summoners, where the strongest player in the entire game has finally reached the 100th floor of the Tower of Trials. That player is God Jinwoo. Inside the game, he is basically a legend. He is ranked number 1, dominates PvP, breaks time attack records, and despite being free to play, he still overwhelms people who spent years and money trying to catch up to him. To everyone else, he looks untouchable. But in real life, the truth is very different. The man behind God Jinwoo is a 24-year-old whose life has been consumed by games for 10 years. He never went to college, does not have a proper career, and has reached the point where he feels like his entire youth was wasted inside a screen. That is why he makes an important decision. Once he clears this final stage, he is quitting games forever. So for him, this is not just another raid. It is his final goodbye to the life he has been trapped in. Meanwhile, the rest of the player base keeps talking about how insane he is. Some players cannot believe how far ahead he is. Others joke that it might be easier to become one of God Jinwoo's summons than to become as strong as him. One top player even messages him asking whether he is still working on the 99th floor, only for Jinwoo to reveal to himself that he cleared that floor a long time ago. That shows just how far beyond everyone else he really is. Then the battle on the 100th floor begins. The enemies are overwhelming, with divine-looking winged beings and monstrous guardians making the stage feel more like the end of the world than a game level. But Jinwoo does not hesitate. He opens his summon window, pulls from a stacked inventory, and starts fighting with the kind of precision only the top player in the world could have. He unleashes one of his most powerful moves, White Whale, an ultimate skill that completely changes the scale of the battle. Then he follows it up with Blue Dragon, turning the fight into total chaos as water and force crash against the enemies. Firepower. The spectators watching through chat are stunned. Even top-ranked players are getting goosebumps. Then, in the middle of the battle, a rumor spreads through the chat. Apparently, if someone clears the 100th floor of the Tower of Trials, a new world will open. At first, people treat it like a joke because no one ever really believed this floor could be beaten. But now that God Jinwoo is actually fighting there, the rumor does not sound so ridiculous anymore. That changes the mood completely. Because now this is not just the final clear of a gamer trying to quit. It feels like the result of this battle might affect reality itself. Then Jinwoo wins. A final explosion erupts, and the system confirms that the 100th floor has been cleared. He did it. After 10 years, the strongest player in the game finally reached the summit no one else could touch. Overjoyed, he throws his arms up and celebrates right there in public. People around him think he is crazy, but he does not care. To him, this is the greatest moment of his life. He can finally walk away from the game with no regrets. But that celebration ends instantly. A giant system window appears in the sky above the city, showing the same clear message for everyone to see. Then a second message appears. The beta testing period has ended. Now everyone is confused, including Jinwoo himself, because the game's system is somehow appearing in real life. Then red summoning scrolls start falling from the sky all over the city. People pick them up and wonder if this is some kind of event. Another system message tells them to tear the summoning scroll. To normal people, it sounds harmless. But Jinwoo immediately realizes something is wrong and tries to stop them. He is too late. Someone tears open a scroll, and everything changes. An explosion goes off. A system message announces that a new world is being created. Red light floods the city, the atmosphere becomes violent, and monsters from the game begin appearing in real life. Not as holograms, not as effects, as actual living creatures. The city falls into chaos. People scream, cars crash, and civilians are suddenly caught in a disaster no one could have imagined. Jinwoo realizes the rumor was true. Clearing the 100th floor really did trigger the birth of a new world. and now reality is paying the price. In the middle of the chaos, Jinwoo himself gets hit and thrown to the ground. Barely conscious, he sees his cracked phone beside him, still displaying the message that a new world is being created. All he can do is curse the game before losing consciousness. When he wakes up, everything is quiet. He is in a hospital room, surrounded by his family. At first, nothing makes sense, but then the news playing on television reveals the truth. The world has changed. Now people talk openly about summoners, international player leagues, high-ranked summons, and national budgets for summoning scrolls. This is no longer a game system hidden inside a phone. It has become part of society itself. Then his family reveals another huge shock. 3 years have passed since the accident. While Jinwoo was unconscious, the world adapted to the new reality. Summons became normal. Even his father now has a pebble golem that helps with delivery work, showing just how ordinary summoned creatures have become in daily life. At this point, Jinwoo's real name is revealed. His family calls him Jinwoo. And as he processes everything, he realizes 2 things. First, the world of Battle of Summoners really did become reality. Second, he lost 3 whole years while everyone else adapted without him. But the surprises are not over yet. A news report mentions that ever since the recent incident, people around the world have been searching for the worker who climbed the Tower of Trials. South Korea's god Jinwoo. Then Rachel, the world's rank 1 player and one of the 5 emperors, appears on screen and says that they are still waiting for him. If he appears, the world may take another unpredictable turn. That is when Jinwoo fully realizes how serious this is. The entire world is now looking for God Jinwoo, and he is that person. As if to confirm that the game system is still tied to him, a new window suddenly appears right in front of him in the hospital room. Would you like to start the tutorial? Jinwoo stares at it in shock. The system is offering him a fresh start in this changed world. His mother begs him not to rush and tells him to rest first, but Jinwoo already understands the situation. If this world really runs on the same rules as the game, then he has to adapt immediately. He may have nothing. He may not fully understand this new reality yet, but there is one thing he knows for sure. When it comes to Battle of Summoners, no one understands it better than he does. He was the best once. And if the world now follows the same rules as the game he mastered, then he is confident he can rise to the top all over again.